Hello, I'm Claire. This is Clarobobbins, and welcome to Friday Sews. So what have I been doing this week? Well, on my sewing table this week has been the Jenna Kaftan by Sinclair patterns, and it's a darted bodice. It has waist darts as opposed to a bust dart. As you know, you can rotate darts wherever you like if you have a darted bodice. It comes in a really good range of sizes. You have 3 different height files, which go from petite to regular to tall, and it comes in a US 0 to a US 30. So very, very comprehensive and inclusive sizing. The difficulty is rated as 2 to 3 out of 10, easy. So it would be a good pattern for an adventurous beginner. There's a part sew along done by Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles, which is it doesn't do the whole dress, but she does it has an exposed facing, the dress. This is my toile of the dress, my wearable toile. It has an exposed facing, which you top stitch. And if you're quite new to sewing, you kind of do it, it's kind of the wrong way around when you do it. You put wrong to right sides, and yeah, I should imagine maybe for a complete beginner might find it okay because they won't know anything else. But you know, you and I know, if we're used to doing things a certain way, we're used to facings, flipping on the inside. I had to do my understitching twice because I got it on the wrong side. Oh, I had such a nightmare sewing this. It's a lovely pattern. It's a really nice dress, and the instructions are really straightforward. But I was really tired because I was poorly last week, and I've had a mad week this week, and I just seemed to be really tired all the time. And I kept making the most stupid mistakes, like putting the skirt on back to front. So I had to unpick it all. And this fabric, which those of you that have watched my first Fabric Wheel of Fate series over the autumn and started in January, may remember this fabric. I made the Rhapsody blouse from it, and I think I paid, it was very expensive. It might have been £2.75 a metre, or it could have been £2.50, or it might have been a bit less. It was from a mega sale. It was reduced and in the sale, and reduced to clear, and then in an extra sale at Fabric Styles. And I made I had the navy version of this, where the little flowers are pink, and then there's pale blue and white on navy background. And I liked the fabric so much, I thought, I saw it in this colour. I wasn't that gone on the colourway, although it has grown on me, but I decided that the fabric was so nice I would buy it again. Excuse me. And I bought quite a lot of it, and I think it's obviously not an expensive fabric, and the grain of the fabric isn't very true. It's just been all over the place to sew. Yeah, really shifty. Yeah, couldn't get the grey. It kind of shifts onto the bias when you've got it all laid out flat. Trying to find a bit that's on grain, where the fabric, it's almost like the fabric's a bit twisted. Just probably a very cheap fabric. Or it might just have been the end of the roll, because I did buy quite a lot of it, and I just found it really difficult to get a nice. I mean, it's okay. Nobody would know, but I found it going slightly out of shape because the liner, because of the way the weave of the fabric just seemed to randomly shift, which then made it very difficult to cut accurate shapes out to then sew. But I enjoyed doing the facing, and I decided that I was going to use my creative cover stitch to do the top stitching to make the facing stand out, because this is a feature of the pattern. I'm getting sidetracked now. Put the pattern down. I'll come back to it in just a moment. So these were my test samples for my Babylock Creative Cover Stitch, the Primo. And this is using 2 different silk threads, and I'll put a close-up in of this, and I've got a bit of video to show you it using doing the wiper, the swing foot with the wipers on. And this is one of the most basic stitches that it does, and I was playing about with different, it's the first time I'd used anything other than a straightforward polyester thread, and these 2 silk and bamboo threads, 80% silk, 20% bamboo, in a dark green and then a kind of turquoisey blue. So as I say, I've got some close-ups of this that I'll pop photographs up. So I had a lot of fun playing around with this, and aren't those tassels lovely? You know, I think if I had to do, you know, normally if I'm doing a belt loop or something, I'd do a hand chain stitch, you know, like a buttonhole stitch. For example, for the rouleau loop for my recent Thorndike tank, that would have been just lovely for a rouleau loop, wouldn't it? Just sewn through from the back, just gorgeous. So I've bought this silk and bamboo in, how many colours did I get? Oh. Maybe 5 or 6. I'm going to go to the Babylock Open Day at Lorna Knight Sewing Academy on the 16th of August, and that's at Bradnop, which is on the A50 between, it's not far from Leek, and she's having a Babylock Open Day, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more information on the types of yarns and threads I can put through my machine. These are a reasonably heavy weight, but they went through absolutely no problem. But I quite fancy having a go, if it's possible, with some knitting yarns. I thought maybe something that would work, maybe, you know, lace weight knitting yarns in something like kid silk and mohair, that type of thing. So I need to get some information and find out if I can use that sort of thing through it. I quite fancy a fluffy texture for some of my makes. I think that would be nice to play around with. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to going and finding out a bit more about what I can do. But so far, I love this. I'm really, really pleased with this. So I did this around here. So it's an outside facing, and it's this construction of it's quite straightforward. And then it has a casing for the waist tie, which again is quite straightforward. It has pockets. Now I hacked the pockets. I did the pockets. I extended up, because I'm always a bit wary about pockets in a viscose dress. So I extended the pattern up to the waistband. Quite a few Cashmerette patterns have the pocket up to the waistband. So I did that on both pocket pieces. And then stitched it all the way up the side and into the waistband, and it hangs really nice and straight. They don't distort the waist seam, not the waist seam, the side seam, which I think pockets can do if you're not careful, and they just disappear quite nicely. I used a band roll baby hem on the sleeve, which I think is fine. There is a flounce for the sleeve, but I decided on the trial that I wouldn't do that. And I did just a standard blind hem on my sewing machine. So I overlocked the hem first, and then in a blind hem stitch using my number 5 foot on my sewing machine, and that's my preferred machine stitched hem. On wovens is a blind stitch hem, and you can hardly see it. You just have the tiniest little stitch through, and I find that works really nicely, and it hangs quite nicely and moves quite nicely. So I used a 3 centimetre hem. Quite happy with the length of the dress, I'm 5 foot, I'm nearly 5'5", and the regular, excuse me, the regular, I'm so tired this week, the regular pattern block is from 5, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Oh, it does say inside. I think it's the regular is something like 5'3" to 5'6". Here we go, 5'4" to 5'6". So the petite is 5'1" to 5'3", and then the regular is 5'4" to 5'6". So I'm bang on the regular block, and then the tall block is 5'7" to 5'9". And it does say if you've got a long torso to choose the next height, if you have long legs, choose the smaller height. If your torso and legs are proportional, choose the next height. So I think for me, I'm 5'4", and probably 5'4.5", 5'4" and a bit. So the regular's spot on for me. Now I did do my usual inserting of I moved the bust point down. Now the bust point's not marked on the pattern, but I decided to move it down above here. And I think I probably should have then taken the corresponding amount out of the length. I just think it looks maybe just a little bit long in the length for me. I also sized up to a size 16. This has got an EF cup, and I decided that if I went for the size 16, there was enough ease in it with the darted bust here. The waist darts here, which give fullness in the bust. I decided there was enough ease for it to fit, and it does, and it's okay around the neckline. There's no gaping, so that's nice. It's probably a smidgen wide on the shoulder. You know, I probably ought to do a narrow shoulder adjustment. Am I going to? Probably not. Yeah, I think the 14 would be quite a bit too small. I'd have to do a full bust adjustment on the 14, and I wasn't sure about how to do that with the facing and everything. Well, I know how to do it, but if you know what I mean, I wasn't convinced that I would like it with the full bust adjustment done. So I decided to size up instead, and then that would give me the option to size down on the shoulders. Well, I'll think about it. I might do it. I'll think about it. I've certainly got enough fabric just to remake the bodice without the facings or the sleeves, just to do a quick check to see if I prefer that. There's lots of ease, and with the draw cord you can wear it, you know, you've got lots of flexibility for the waist, so I didn't have to alter this at all. I'm only about a size 12 in the hip. I don't tend to size down in the hip. I tend to just, yeah, it's gathered. It doesn't really matter, does it? So it's fine. Like the length, there's 3 options on the length. Yeah, so something I probably will do is just reduce the length of the bodice by maybe ½ an inch. I think it's quite a long bodice compared to Cashmerette. They always seem to come a bit short on me, and I think maybe I should have taken a little bit out of it. So I might just shorten it by a finger width, ½ an inch. Yeah, something like that. And I think it would be perfect then. I think it'll just help the proportion look a little bit better. I know my waist is kind of, I'm not narrow in the waist anyway, so it's kind of a pick your spot kind of thing. And it does sit okay on my waist, but it could be just a smidgen higher, whereas normally I'm thinking, oh, I wish I'd made it a bit longer, because I normally feel like it's not as far down as my waist. So yeah, what else? what else did I like? It's got all the normal stuff. It's got quite a lot of detail, lovely clear instructions. I did have it A0 printed by CLC, so yeah, I had the cheap booklet done. They do a really nice spiral bound booklet, but they're quite a bit more expensive. Yeah, it has cup sizes, so that's nice. Talks about the cup sizes and the difference in your high bust and your full bust, which is good. So you've got all the information there. Just doesn't go up quite as full, the full bust, as Cashmerette patterns, but there's detailed information on how to measure yourself, which is all good, and the intended fit of the garment, the sizing guide, and then a finished measurement. So the information in the pattern is really, really good. They're really thorough, and the diagrams and the information are all really clear. I didn't go and see, there is a blog. You can find out lots more information about your pattern printing and doing the layers on the pattern. You can get all of that on their blog. There's really good pattern layout information. Did I use it? No. I didn't use it because I pattern matched the front bodice, and then of course I didn't pattern match the facing, but it worked out okay, so it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh dear, sorry, yawny. I do apologise. I don't think there's anything else. You can see the pocket shape. You can see that pocket shape there, and I extended mine. So I just used a piece of paper to draft an extra bit on up to, I measured where the pocket's located on the waist seam, and then I just went up to the top of the front and back pieces of fabric from where the pattern pocket pattern would be located. I just measured up, and then I just stuck an extra piece on the pocket and made it look a nice shape, and that's all I did with it. There's great information on the inserting of the sleeves. There's great information on the casing. You can make it sleeveless. There are 2 cut lines, one for sleeveless and one for sleeved. So you can do it sleeveless. And the other thing I used from Karina, which I thought was a great tip, she uses the casing, the drawstring at the front, but then she attaches elastic around the back. So from about here on my casing all the way around the back and to here is 5mm 1/4 inch elastic, and if I just turn Edith around, and I've padded Edith out a little bit, not very well, I have to say. Oops, a bit wonky. There we go. Yeah, so the back here has got elastic in all the way around, and I think that's a really lovely. It makes it very comfortable. It means I can put it on and take it off without having to undo the tie. So the tie has just become decorative, really. You can put a bought, you don't have to make the drawstring. You can put a bought drawstring, so you could do a contrasting colour if you wanted. I just made one. The instructions are very clear. I just knotted the end. Yeah, very pleased. Yeah, I like it. It's nice on, feels really comfortable. I will have popped in some video, a little bit of video and some photos for you to have a look at. So I've done those. Yeah, so a successful make, even though it has taken me all week. So yeah, we were at the cricket on Wednesday, so that took a whole day. But I think I've done lots and lots of new patterns this summer. Most of the things I've made have been from new patterns, and whilst that's really exciting, and the patterns that I've had for ages and I've been meaning to make, not this one, this is a new pattern. It was only I bought it on release It's only released about a month ago, but I bought this for a particular reason. So more about that in a future video. Yeah, so my other new patterns have all been kind of things I've had for a while, most of them things I've had for a while that I've been planning to make. So it's quite nice to be getting on with those finally. Yeah, really very pleased with those. So what did I find difficult? The fabric. The pattern was lovely. The fabric was tricky. I looked at the facing, I looked at the photographs, I looked at Karina's thing, I thought, oh, do I really like that? Do I really like that external facing? I really couldn't decide, and I've decided I do like it, and I particularly like it with the top stitching. So I was quite excited to do that yesterday. I was really excited to do the top stitching, and I got all the facing done really nice, got all the bodice nice, tried it on, it fitted nicely. Then I made a complete hash. So the pockets, I pressed the pockets and stitched them down to the back instead of the front, and then I put the skirts on back to front. And of course it's bigger at the front because you've done, because you're using a full bust piece, so it's a bit fuller at the front of the garment. Yeah, so I had to, sorry, excuse me yawning. So I had to unpick it all, and I found at the end of about 2.5 hours sewing, I was back to where I'd started. I'm ashamed to say I completely messed it up. I made a real horlicks of it. Yeah, so today I could have happily just thrown it through the window. It seemed to take forever. I thought yesterday, I had a whole day to sew yesterday, and I thought I'll get it all done, and I'll get my video recorded on Thursday night, and it can all be uploaded and ready to go live on Friday morning. No chance. Yeah, it was. I made a complete horlicks of it, but it's finished. It's done. I like it. Mr. Bobbins likes it, so all good with the world. A success, finally. After all that messing about. So yes, we went to watch the cricket at Old Trafford near Manchester. We went to watch our Manchester team in the 100, which is 100 balls. 5 ball overs, 100 balls in total, so it's like a super quick version of the T20 format of the game, and they play women's and men's from the same club, and our team, the Manchester Originals, were playing, who were we playing? The Southern Braves, who did very well. They either won it last year or were runners-up last year. So yeah, really, it was really all down to the last ball. Very exciting. Sorry, I'm squeaky now. Apologies for my voice. Yeah, very exciting. So it was a good day out, and the weather was beautiful, and I went with some very good friends, Ken and Melanie. So Melanie, you might see this. Ken definitely won't see this. If you happen to see it, Melanie, hello. Yeah, so a lovely day out on Wednesday. So I was really tired. Went out for a Thai lunch. So we went off to Manchester in the morning, parked in Altrincham, and then got the tram up to the city, and we had lunch in Altrincham, which was really nice, at Spantong Thai, which is a restaurant we like. And then yeah, just snacks for the afternoon, and we got home about 11 o'clock in the evening. So quite a long day, which is probably why I was so tired yesterday. Yeah, so very good. So I've had a lovely week, and yeah, it was great fun playing with my new Coverstitch yesterday. So there we go. That's all for me. Have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my new Jenna Kaftan, and I hope to see you again soon. Let me know what you think. Have you made a kaftan? Have you done an external facing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think of it.